kick off. It's over to you guys. You're going to take us through tonight. So thanks everyone for coming, and I hope that some of you in the room will feel inspired and will have some good ideas to take back to your mates. Okay, over to you.
Thanks very much. Okay, so good evening. We are Accelerate, and we'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight to help us celebrate volunteering and youth volunteering in particular. I'd like to start by trying to work this, and I'm going to try and explain what is Accelerate. So Accelerate is Volunteer Centre's youth project that aims to get young people interested and involved with volunteering. All of us here know the benefits of volunteering, but many young people we speak to in our experience say, well, what's the point of volunteering? You know, why would I want to work for free? You know, I don't get paid. Don't see the point. Well, we thought we'd address this problem, and we made it our mission to make young people in Edinburgh aware of what volunteering is really like. So, what we do is we run peer education workshops in schools and community groups. So, I'll hand over to Lynn.
Not click on the button, sorry. Here we are.
Thank you. Right, so what we do, like as Andy said, is we go into high schools and youth groups and share our experiences of volunteering. For example, like what we do, how we benefited from it, like, and how they themselves can get involved. And I think the diversity of opportunities available, like, is kind of shown through us, because we all do completely different things. And they've got some lovely pictures, like on the slide over here, that I've been told are meant to represent some of the stuff we do, so I'm going to try to explain them all. Firstly, the first picture of the person speaking is meant to represent, like, giving workshops to people, which all of us have done as part of Accelerate, and I've also done through the British Standing Association. The next one, like, it's not as clear, but that's meant to be like kind of conservation, which can be like kind of cleaning up the water leaf, or just helping to do like a litter pick up somewhere. The middle one's like are the charity shops, which Kate and Claire here like have both done like in the past. The Lego Mona Lisa represents the arts opportunities available. And for example, like Kate's been doing some stuff at the Macmillan Trust, helping them to set up an art show. And finally, this lovely lion on the end is Andy, and this is when he got involved as a mascot, where like, you just got to kind of muck around in a lion suit all day, which I think is a pretty good way to volunteer. I'm sure you'll agree. And what we want to do like, is just kind of prove that there is a lot of opportunities available. There's so much you can do. And you can really just have some fun with it. And pass it to Kate.
There you go. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what we actually do in the schools. As well as sharing our stories about what we've done as volunteers, we also use fun games and exercises to make sure our message is remembered. In schools, one we use a lot is the children's game fruit salad. We make a sort of volunteering version of that, with volunteering Skittles and volunteering bingo. Every workshop is very different, and we adapt these to make sure that they suit the needs of each group that we work with.
So the ideas for the workshops don't really come from nowhere, because clearly we do a lot of different things depending on where we are. For example, our board game would really work well at a college fair. So in September we had a development meeting where we came up with workshop ideas for the different places that we go to. We came up with a toolkit for every situation, so we're always prepared. And now I'm going to do Kate.
As well as not really understanding volunteering, some young people don't know how to go about getting involved. So if they're interested at our workshops, we promote the Volunteer Centre services, particularly the youth drop-in. There we help young people look through the opportunities which are available, work out what they want to do, and then also help them to contact the organisations, because sometimes people can get really put off by that aspect of it. We also promote the Envy Award, which a lot of you here today have achieved, so that young people can really get recognition for the good work that they do.
Well, I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about Accelerate at the end of the evening, but for now I'd like to thank you for listening and introduce Cheryl from Move On.
Good evening everybody, my name is Cheryl Lakebird and I'm a little bit nervous, so please bear with me. Why did I decide to move on? Volunteer. I was in care when I was 16 and my key worker wanted me to work with Move On to help me with my transition of moving out of care and into my own tenancy. But at this time it wasn't for me, so a few years later I decided I wanted to volunteer and my key worker reminded me about Move On. I wanted to volunteer with Move On because of my experience of being homeless and decided I wanted to help young people avoid going through what I went through, and Move On seemed like the best place to start. So more about Move On. Before you can become a volunteer with Move On, you have to go through training. The training looked at our own experience of being in care and being homeless. From this we then made up educational games based on housing options and homelessness to take into schools and youth groups. I then had to go through a social work interview to make sure I was suitable and ready, as I could be working with vulnerable people. I also had a Disclosure Scotland check as well. After I had my first interview, I was ready to start volunteering in schools, and I have been doing this now for a year or so. How has the work I have done with Move On benefited others? I feel the work that Move On do alongside the peer educators for young people is great. The workshops I have done have been a great success. I think this is due to the fact that young people participate well in them. Some of the young people in the workshops have also been interested in becoming volunteers themselves. I think it makes a big difference for them to learn about homelessness from a person who has been through this experience, such as myself. How has volunteering benefited me? I am so happy that I decided to join the Move On team as a volunteer for the organisation. I love the feeling of walking into a classroom and giving young people the advice they need. I am now sure that becoming a youth worker is my long-term career choice, thanks to Move On volunteering has changed my life for the better. Thank you.